Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night. Winter Monday nights are here for the month of November, and this is a brand new series that we're putting out on every Monday night in November, and it's called The Making Of. And tonight, I'm joined by the multi-talented Mr. Adam Nash, and it's great to see you, Ad.
It's good to see you too.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yes.
Beautiful people online tonight watching, and what a great winter season that we're going to have. And this is the first one of The Making Of, and this is a series behind the scenes. And of course tonight is the making of a worship leader, a worship pastor, of which you have been for, we'll find out in a moment, it seems like for many years here at Champions Church. And Adam is our incredible worship pastor here. We know that people love you, Adam, and I know you told me not to embarrass you or to put you under pressure. I'm going to do both, hopefully. And we're going to ask you tonight to click on the subscribe button as you're watching on YouTube, because that means that you get everything coming straight to your device. And every Monday night, you'll get a reminder, as you would on a Sunday, at any of our services. So right now, why not, just before we get into this interview with Adam, that press subscribe, and that will be just a great way of you getting all our notifications about when anything is on right now. So do that. So Adam, talk to us. You have been the worship leader, the worship pastor here for quite a few years.
Yes, I was trying to work out how long I've been involved. I think I started being involved in the worship team when I was about 14.
Wow.
Which is obviously only just a few years ago. But I reckon probably taking more of a lead role. It's coming up for about 20 years now.
Wow. 20 years doing the same thing. So talk about your first interest in music.
Yeah.
Just tell us how that happened.
So, well, my parents, they had a missionary come and stay with them. I think I was about 7 years old. And he was from Canada, and he was a drummer.
Wow.
And really kind of in that moment, in those couple of weeks that he was with us, I was hooked. So thankful to parents who supported me and were willing to put up with the noise. They bought me a first drum kit, and so from kind of about the age of 7, 8, I started playing drums and really never looked back. All through school, that was the only thing I wanted to do. I've only ever wanted to be involved in music.
Yeah, weren't you known as Crasher?
Yeah, I did get the nickname Crash and Nash.
Crash and Nash.
Things like that.
Yep. So you started out on drums.
Started out on drums, and then really kind of from there, I mean, my family are musical. My dad, he plays. My nan, she's like coming to 94, and she still plays the piano, which is incredible.
Wow, brilliant.
So,
wow.
Picked up a guitar when I was young as well, and sort of started playing guitar, playing bass. Went through school, went through college, and really kind of had a one-track mind to get onto university and, study music.
Wow. So, as we can see, Adam has got an array of bass guitars here, which all look amazing to me. Yes. And thanks for polishing them up, Adam. I must say, normally on a Sunday, under the lights, they, to me, look like they need a really good dusting. But I've just made sure that he's actually, just before this interview, I saw you with the pledge polish and the duster. So that's probably the first time.
A bit like the children, you know, when they're going out, you have to make sure they're in their best attire.
Talking about condition. Children, these are your children as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So talk to me, your favorite you said is this one here, which to me, if you can see it on camera, I don't know whether you can, but this looks like so well worn out. This looks like the worst bass guitar to me, but that's your favorite. So why? Because
well, this guitar,
it's only got 4 strings.
It's only got 4, but it's got character. See, every little knock or dent represents maybe...
When you dropped it.
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But no, that was one of my first guitars that I had made, and it really is kind of a favourite. I suppose it's a bit like a favourite pair of slippers. You know, just always.
So you said you had that
nice.
made. You didn't go to a music shop and you just picked it out the store.
No, that is correct. That was made by a gentleman who lives local to here, called Tony Wright.
Tony Wright, big send up to Tony Wright, the guitar maker.
Yeah.
So how did Tony know how to make a guitar?
You know, I believe he was a woodwork teacher.
Wow.
And kind of worked in woods and decided to make himself a guitar. Through different things happening in his life, he ended up actually doing it full time. And him and his son Sam, they make some amazing guitars. Literally, absolutely beautiful pieces of furniture. And wow. So they've got some guitars all around the world. I know you may have heard people like Reuben Morgan.
Wow.
He's got one of Tony's guitars.
Wow.
And different people like that. So yeah, he that was the first guitar that he made for me.
Fantastic. And this is literally in Tony's house, about 3-4 miles away from our church tonight.
Yeah, he's just a local guy and a great guy.
So if you're out there tonight and you're wanting to have a handmade guitar made, then maybe we can put Tony's number, maybe not. Make contact with us, but these are not cheap. I mean, I'm looking at the one right over to your left there, Adam.
Yes.
I don't like the black one you say is the favourite. There seems to be pieces missing on that one, but that is my favourite piece of woodwork. And you said to me that's the most expensive one that we have on the platform right now. Do you want to just pick that up for us if you can? They're really heavy, I have to say.
They are quite heavy. I mean, this one, it's a fretless bass, so it's definitely the hardest to play.
Fretless bass.
Yeah, so
it doesn't fret when you're playing it.
There's no fret.
Okay.
But, there's cheat lines, but there's no actual frets on the guitar.
Okay. So the fret is
that piece of metal that goes across the neck. Yeah.
So you have to. These are like playing by numbers, and these are like playing without the numbers.
You got it, yeah. You've got to be exactly in the right position for it to sound in tune. And
so why don't you play that more then? Because you're not exactly in the right position.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, and when I'm not looking.
Okay. So you may not want me to quote these figures, but I know these are actually worth thousands of pounds. And so if you can just turn that one over before you put it down. I particularly like the back of this one. So if you maybe on Sunday you could play it that way round, it'd be better, but that would be difficult. So the artwork really that Tony has put into that is on the back. And why is this the most expensive guitar, Ad?
So this is what you call a through neck guitar.
Through neck.
All the way from the bottom to the end is one piece of wood.
Wow.
And then you kind of you add on these pieces where all the other normal guitars have a bolt-on neck. So it's one piece of wood.
Wow.
And it's absolutely beautiful.
So what kind of wood is that? Do you know?
So this is Amboina wood and Wengi wood. So exotic woods. And
Amboina and Wengi wood.
Wengi, yeah.
Okay. So for everyone that's got a chipboard guitar out there, this is Amboina and Wengi wood, available from superstores all around the country.
Yeah, you're not going to find it on B&Q's shelves.
Wow. So you actually love playing the guitar, probably. So you play most musical instruments.
There's a lot of musical instruments. But guitar, bass, drums. Those are really kind of my main three instruments that I would enjoy playing.
Okay. Yeah. So I remember, sorry, I don't want to embarrass you, but I remember you playing drums when you were about 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
And I do remember because you were not the largest child growing up.
No. Thanks to my dad,
And I do remember that whenever you played this huge set of drums in the worship band all those years ago, you couldn't see you behind the cymbals and the drums. It was quite a sight to see. So amazing guitars, so beautifully made. Thanks for everything you've brought to the worship team, Adam, through bass playing, through every instrument you've ever played. I've seen you on the keyboard occasionally.
Well, needs must. But
needs must.
We can talk about that later.
So You are approaching, believe it or not, 40 years of age. The big 40 is coming your way.
Big 40 next month. Yep.
20 years as a worship pastor, 20 years as a worship leader. So what would you say getting to this age is probably your greatest challenge right now as you've hit this 20-year mark and 40 years of age?
Yeah. I think, like anyone, if you're doing something week in, week out or daily, year after year, is how do you keep yourself fresh, sharp? How do you kind of make sure that what you're doing is still actually cutting it and making a difference? That is probably one of the biggest challenges. And also knowing that, okay, I'm not, young anymore. I'm not that sort of 20-year-old sort of go-getter who would be like, I'm going to do anything. Now it's like kind of making sure that actually I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I'm everything that God wants me to be and has called me to be.
Wow. Brilliant. I think right now while we're talking, we can see some of you in action leading worship at our church on a Sunday. We can see that on the screen right now. Just an awesome job you're doing every week, Adam.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the nitty-gritty of how does a rehearsal work in a church? A proper rehearsal I'm talking about, not like turn up on a Sunday, plug it in and go. We have some pretty strict guidelines and codes of conduct and practice, don't we? And so let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, like any team, you need people who are going to be willing to get stuck in, willing to turn up on time, or just turn up. But really, a rehearsal is, I kind of think it's like, it's that time where you sort of have to really grind. It's the grind time of creating what is maybe a Sunday. Yeah. We are blessed to have amazing guys in our worship team who are willing to put in hours of practice outside of this building, hours of time, and really when you come together, it's kind of, there's maybe a bit of friction or a bit of tension or a bit of fun and laughter. It's all kind of mixed in a great melting pot. Yeah. But like anything, you've got to sort of really grind down and go, okay, let's make this better. What are we doing that is not right? What are we doing that's wrong? Or how can we improve this? And so there's probably about 30 of us that would come together for different kind of rehearsals. Musicians, singers, our production team.
That's every single week.
That's every single week. We meet on a Thursday night, and we just give all that we can in a sort of a couple of hours to really kind of see a Sunday a success, as well as looking forward to into our future and kind of going, what's coming up? So Christmas is coming. So
maybe
hopefully if they let us have a Christmas, but can we? We're preparing for Christmas. We are working on new songs, trying to write songs, trying to take songs that that have been written by people in the team, and really trying to get out there what we've got.
Brilliant. So on a Thursday night, what time do you've been in the church office all day or out and about, whatever you've been doing?
Yeah.
On a Thursday night, what time do you leave the house to come to rehearsal?
Normally somewhere kind of between 5:30, 6 o'clock. Get here and start getting things ready.
Make sure everything's ready. And so people turn up. What time do you get home on a Thursday night?
That varies. If I'm blessed, it'll be before 9.
Before 9?
Maybe.
Wow, that's early.
But usually it's kind of sort of 9:30, 10. Depending on the time of year, it
December,
can be later.
11,
12.
Whatever. So it's a big commitment, but it pays off. All the preparation pays off. And I think what people see, I'm sure as everybody watching tonight knows that what you get and what you see on Sunday, it's a bit like a meal. The more time in preparation, the more time you spend behind the scenes, before the people come, or before your family arrive. It's a bit like a Christmas dinner. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Definitely. And the easier you make it look at them, which you do, it's because of all the hard work behind the scenes. That's what happens every single week. Now, I want to know, because I've never, ever done this, and I know it would drive me absolutely crazy. So you wear what my nan would call, they're wearing deaf aids. They're wearing their deaf aids. These in-ears, that's what they're called? In-ears.
Yeah.
So every worship band nowadays, apparently, you see them with their deaf aids in. I want to know what is being said. What are you listening to? Because if I was listening to anything while I was trying to do something else, I wouldn't be able to do what I was supposed to be doing. So tell us what's going on inside your head.
Okay, so what's going on in here is really kind of everything that you would need to hear or want to hear. So like a lot of bands now, we play to a click.
Meaning?
So like a metronome, so literally like some kind of click going on in your ears.
So you can hear that, nobody else can hear it, you can hear that in your ears.
Yeah, no one else should hear that, but it helps keep everyone in time, keeps everyone together.
Wow.
Then we will have an MD, a musical director, who will be talking to us all, telling us where we're going, either to a section of a song or what's coming up next. He's there or she's there to really just help us get through and musically stay together. So then once you've got those two elements, you've then got a mixture of what, if I'm playing an instrument, I'd have that in my ears. I'd want to hear what maybe the keyboard player's doing. Maybe what if you yourself are preaching, I want a bit of your mic so I can hear you. Because once you've got those in, really you don't hear anything else.
Wow.
Someone can be talking to you and you would not have a clue that they're talking to you. So sometimes you have to apologise for being rude. But so that's all going on while you're kind of, singing and leading.
And on top of that, you've got to lead people in worship. So inside your head right now, you're standing on the platform on Sunday, you got a click track.
Yeah.
You got the music director talking to you about where we're going, what's coming up next.
Yeah.
You've got your instrument, you've got everybody else's instrument and your vocals.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you've got to be talking, leading people in worship. I thought it was so easy before we had this conversation.
Yeah, to be fair, it used to be old-fashioned, just
Give me
put a speaker on the floor and just put your head down and go. But
wow.
No, it is kind of takes a little bit of getting used to, but to be fair, once you're kind of in and locked in, you're in a safe place. You're good.
In a safe place. I think one of these days I'm going to just wear some of these in-ears.
Yeah.
Just to find out how complicated it is. And I just know I'm going to fail completely with that. So, Adam, let's talk about family. Many people will know that you're actually my son-in-law.
Yes.
And I'm very proud to be your father-in-law. And you have two wonderful boys, Noah and Hudson. Give them a mention tonight. Noah and Hudson, hey.
Hey, boys.
And, we're very proud of them, myself and Gillian, proud of yourself and Esther. You're an amazing young man. Well, the funny thing is now you're approaching 40, and I still think of you as young.
Yeah.
Which actually is all right for you, but it just makes me realise that I'm 60, you're 40. And so when I'm 100, you'll be 80. Is that right? Did I do the sums right?
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's a potential that we could be old men together if I last that long, but...
Keep going.
So talk to me about your family, because you have shone through some of the most incredible events that have taken place in your life, one of which has got to be the length of your mom's illness, resulting in tragic death.
Yeah.
Tell us about, first of all, your mom's illness. Your dad, John, has been an absolute star through this. I don't know how he's coped, and I think he'd probably say he hasn't to a degree, but tell us about how you have, as a young man growing up, faced this with your mom.
Well, I'm an only child, and, I have to say my parents, I would obviously say that they are two of the best. Growing up with a mom who suffers with MS. It brought its challenges.
Multiple sclerosis.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
But I have to say that, they both really kind of taught me what it was to just be able to kind of, persevere, to shine through the situations that kind of, especially that my mom, she would face obviously on a daily basis. And really, just her own personality, just shining through the disease, which, unfortunately, I think for probably almost 20 plus years, she suffered with MS.
Well, I remember myself and Gillian going to your mum and dad's house when you were just a little lad.
Yeah.
And I knew your mom before she was ever ill. I knew her when she was getting ill, and of course we knew her a little bit less in later life, but when she was seriously ill, obviously. So I've seen her pre and during. Sorry, Adam, carry on.
Yeah, and, every day would be different, and every day would have its challenges, but we got through them. We keep smiling, and that would be one of my mum's things that she would always say, keep smiling and just shining through. And that really instilled into me something which probably you don't realise at the time. But yeah, as you mentioned, tragically, my mum lost her life in a house fire.
Which is not too far away.
No, I mean, it's happened just over a year ago now.
Wow.
I remember, I think actually it was a Thursday evening. I'd literally just left rehearsal.
Yeah.
Or as I was leaving rehearsal, I had a phone call from, which I thought was my dad, but it was my dad's neighbour, to tell me that your dad's house on fire. So I was like, okay. So I kind of raced over there and, trying to find out what was going on, and waited to see, who's here. Eventually they kind of let me through to see my dad, and we obviously found out that unfortunately Mom had lost her life.
Wow.
And, I don't think anything can obviously prepare you for those kind of things in life. There's certain things that you go through and you never think you'll ever have to deal with. You watch things on TV, you watch things on films, and you kind of go, oh, wow, that must have been bad, or see the news. So obviously when something as tragic as that happens to you personally, it's, you can't prepare for it. However, in one sense, my whole life of seeing how my mom and my dad have coped in holding on to their faith and holding on to God and believing that one day one day Mom will be healed, and ultimately now we can give glory to God because she is with her Saviour, she is with her Father in the sense of that she's healed, she's whole, she's not in any pain, she's not suffering. We can take heart that from the coroner's report that they believe that she wouldn't have suffered at all. Wow. In the fire. So those things can bring a sense of comfort, but more than that, just knowing that she is in a far better place. And in reality, would she want to come back if she had a choice? There's not a chance. And so having gone through that, and you think, okay, how do you answer questions of why? But ultimately, that's not for me to do. It's my place to go, God, I trust you. God, I thank you that I had an amazing mom, and I thank you that she's with you, and I can trust in you. And, something that my dad always would say, in the times when Mom was alive and with her illness, he was like, I don't know why, but I do know that God is good. And just knowing that and having that assurance that God is always for you and God is good, and ultimately his love never fails. It's things that you can't, they're words, but those words actually become a reality. And I have to say that since it happened, immediately after, in that kind of sense, that knowing God's peace in the whole situation was incredible, and really miraculous in that sense of, with the tragedy that it was, but being able to go, you know what, God, you're good, and He's given us a peace that knows, Mum's in heaven now, and I have to say, I don't know how people would go through anything like that without God. Like, it's, there's difficulties, yes, but how you comprehend and process all those kind of things, I feel like there's just no way. Without God, we would not have been able to get through that. Yeah.
Amazing, Adam. Feel so proud of you. And, the Adam that we see, if you watch church online or if you attend Champions, the Adam that we've seen on the platform for all these years, I'm not just speaking about this from church experience or being a full-time staff member here at church, but obviously as part of our family. I know that the Adam that you see on the platform is the Adam you get in real life. Not sure what your wife would say the same thing, but maybe at a squeeze.
Maybe.
But your mom was she was young. She passed away, and her age was just...
about 60. Yeah. So
just a young person, really. And, the resilience that you have shown through this, and your dad, it's just been amazing to watch, because there are things that we can learn through people's life and through death, isn't there?
Yeah.
And, Adam, I want to thank you for leading us in church and showing us, there is life after death. There is life during this moment. And I want to thank you for leading us in such an amazing way that it didn't sink you, but it's actually helped you to rise as a person. And I'm going to say this about a situation and a kind of spin-off from this whole thing of your mom passing away in a tragic house fire, that not too many people will know this, but 25 years ago I was in leadership with your dad. And over the course of events and time, we went our separate ways. And we've always stayed in touch to a degree. We've always had love and fondness for each other. There was never a fallout. But after this time, Adam, it's been absolutely amazing, because your dad has come to church, come back to this church, and started to attend this church. And I think you know this, but more or less every Monday morning now, your dad is one of my greatest texters. He sends out the huge text. And I know he probably thinks he's being a nuisance, but actually it's just a tower of strength to me, John.
Wow.
And I want to thank you, Adam, your dad, for just showing us the way through tragedy and being such the person you are. So I'm sure everybody online would like to clap Adam right now, and John and his family for showing us the way through tragedy and leading the way in our church as well. Come on, why don't we clap our hands right now and do that wherever you are, just watching online right now.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, let's just talk a little bit further. How much time we got? Oh, we're pretty okay. This church is a lighthouse. That's what we built it for. It's a building, but Adam, we both know that the building isn't the church. The people make the church.
Yeah.
But the people need a building such as this to gather in. But we know that if the building is taken away, the church, and we found this especially through lockdown, that the church has been stronger than ever before. We started to come back. A few hundred people have started to come back, which we're so encouraged about. But our church is a lighthouse. But Adam, we're going to talk about the fact that our church is not just a lighthouse in a storm, that when people drive past or people come here, they feel the light of Jesus Christ here is a signpost in the dark. But Adam, we're going to talk about our church is also a greenhouse. And a greenhouse, as we know, is a place specifically created to grow things quickly, healthily, in the right environment. And we just want you to know tonight of some amazing opportunities that we both believe in, our leadership believes in, that Champions is not just a lighthouse, but it's a greenhouse. And by that we mean this is a place to grow people, especially to invest into young people's lives. So kids, if you're watching, especially the young people out there, young adults, I want you really to listen to this coming from our hearts. Our church is a greenhouse. It's meant to be here to invest into the next generation of talent, gift, skill, and all the things that need to happen on this platform every week. And the reality is, Adam, you're not going to be, I'm not firing you, by the way. The reality is, Adam, you're not going to be on this platform every week, no more than I am. True. Because life is going to pass us by, and we now need to be, as we've always believed, but more so than ever, investing in the next generation. So let's talk about this seed idea that we've talked about. We've started to thrash it out, and it's called the Champions Academy. The Champions Academy. I want you to listen carefully, because if you have a child, if one of your kids is right now terrorizing your household, I want you to see beyond the terror of raising your kids right now, and to see the amazing talent that is hidden right there inside of them. The academy. The best way, I think, Adam, to imagine this is like a premiership football team has got to have a youth academy, has got to have a kids academy, has got to have footballers coming through, learning the trade, learning the skill, honing their natural ability and getting better in what they do. The Champions Academy, let's talk about that for a moment. How are we thinking it's going to happen?
Well, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today without the church. You know, I think about my desires growing up and how when I was placed, like you said, as a young person behind a drum kit in a worship team, if I haven't had that opportunity, those kind of the exposure to being able to just grow as a musician, as a young teenager, then I kind of think, you know, where would I have been? And I really believe that the church is definitely a sort of, you know, a greenhouse, a place where people should grow and develop the giftings and the talents that God has placed within them. You know, we've got guys who are on our stage today or involved in our production who basically, when they were teenagers in our church, people who now have got their own businesses, because, you know, they said, I'm interested in joining the sound team and kind of, okay, here we go. And, you know, you fast forward 15 years and now people who have kind of doing that as a living and things like that. So to me, the Champions Academy is just an opportunity to create, like you say, a greenhouse, a space where young people, anyone really can kind of go, hey, I want to explore this. I have a desire to play the drums, or I want to get involved I want to pick up a camera and I want to, you know, be able to take photographs. Well, how do I do that? And you know, I believe that as a church, we're called to lead the way in being able to raise up a generation of, you know, especially in this arena, creatives, people who can use their giftings to, one, glorify God and two, make a difference in their world. You know, the academy, we want to create opportunity for people to be able to maybe take a year out, maybe kind of, you know, before you go on to college or university, or you take a year out of your work and you kind of go, I want to give some time, not just to serve the church, but for me to be able to grow in the area of worship or in a creative way. We also want to provide for our kids are, amazing champion kids who love worship and,
Yeah.
and look at maybe things that are going on in our stage and go, oh, I'd love to be able to play the guitar. I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to sing. Hey, well, let's create a space. Let's create a time where you can come and you can learn and you can grow. And, it's one thing you realize is as you're growing up is that time goes fast.
Yeah.
And what seems maybe like when you're 10, like if I say to my boys, oh, you've got to do something in half an hour, I'd be like, half an hour? That's ages away. That's too long,
Yeah.
a day, oh my. But in years, in a few years' time, we want to be able to go, hey, this platform is a result of people giving and really gaining great experience and seeing their talents grow.
Brilliant. So this is different to a Thursday night rehearsal. This is like potentially even becoming, as you said, becoming an intern within the church. This is us devoting us to you and vice versa. So you may aspire to play the bass, lead guitar, keyboard, drums, or vocals. We've got vocal coaches here that we want to make accessible to you, whoever you are. And, I think you know this. I was 10. I didn't feel as if I'd really got much talent in anything, to be honest, apart from cookery, which was weird. But my mom and dad saw something in me that, and so they knew an old lady. You may know this story. They knew an old lady who had an old honky-tonk piano. And so they managed to get this piano from this old lady who wanted to give it away. It was dreadful. Yeah. It looked dreadful as a piece of furniture. It was so out of tune. But I remember I absolutely, I thrived on that piece of kit.
Yeah.
And I would play it every day. I used to remember coming home from school. Didn't like school particularly, but I remember racing home from school. And the first thing I'd do is play the old piano. And from that, I used to memorize stuff, secular, spiritual songs, hymns. And then my mom and dad decided, hey, he's got something there.
Yeah.
They invested 10 years. And it seemed a lot of money then, I have to say, when I think back. 10 years of my life from 10 to, I think it was 10 to almost 20, maybe 18, 19, 20 years of age, when I actually stopped the lessons.
Wow.
And then, so just to say to every parents watching, invest into your 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Invest into your 7-year-old.
Definitely.
And I would say throughout my life, the most thing that I've had said to me is, people have said, I wish I would have learnt a musical instrument.
Yeah.
And the younger you start, the easier it is.
Yeah.
Come on, parents, the younger you start your kids, the easier it is. But it's never too late. So for all of you teenagers out there, and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life post-COVID, post-lockdown, post-everything? Hey, I want to challenge you right now. What about giving yourself a year to become an intern, to serve in the church, and to become part of the Champions Academy as well?
Yeah.
We don't know the answers to that, Adam. This is raw as it's coming out. We have no idea what it's going to look like.
No, they're finding out soon.
Yeah, you're finding out probably more so. This is the conversation right here and now.
Definitely.
But I'm really believing with Adam, with our team. I think you need to think about Sundays in the main service that it's like as if the first team is out there on the playing field. But remember this, in the Premiership, in any football club, the first team's playing. But what's happening behind the scenes, Adam? There's the youth team and the kids team. They are practicing. They are training is the word I'm looking for. They're training every single week, just the same as the first team. Yeah. And we are wanting, Adam, aren't we, to raise up a whole new generation. Yeah. And we are not looking just to the 20s and the 30-year-olds. We are now looking to the 10-years-old, the 15-year-olds, the 17-year-olds, those of you who have finished school and you are right now thinking, I don't know what to do with my life. I know what to do with your life. Give us your life. Serve here. We will look after you. And I believe it will change your future.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. So I want you to think about the church being a greenhouse. I want you to think about hands-on experience. I want you to think about giving a year of your life. Then if after that you want to go back to university, who knows? You could end up working full-time for this church, for a church. Well, probably for this church, really.
You know, ideally.
Preferably, ideally, for this church. Don't you get moving on. But seriously, so right now, you can contact us. Why not go to connect@championschurch.org.uk, connect with a C, connect, you'll see it on the screen, right here, right now, connect@championschurch.org.uk, and just give us a brief sentence, paragraph about yourself, your age, where you're at. By the way, kids, obviously you're at school. You don't know what to, your parents are over you. You don't have the say. But parents, I'm encouraging you also to say, hey, my daughter, my son has a singing gift, and we'll take them through a whole process. I'm so excited, Adam, about the future.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the future of this platform. Please don't just see the people on this platform and go, well, they'll always be there forever. Nobody is going to be here forever.
Exactly.
We need you right now.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time?
do.
Hey, it looks like we've got about 13 minutes, Adam. Let's see if we can do this in record time tonight. Let's go back to the kind of people that we're looking for, because let's be honest, come on, let's smile as we say this. The church worldwide is pretty famous for having and using those who aren't so talented. And we know that God loves everybody, and we know, but we all have a talent. And the worst thing I could do is sing, and maybe the worst thing you could do is preach. I don't know, or just as an example. And the church is famous for loving everybody. Of course, we're always going to do that. But it's also famous for putting people in the wrong places. It's square pegs in round holes. So you got people who can't really play the instrument. Oh yeah, you play because... And it sounds dreadful. So surely, Adam, there's got to be a way, a process. So let's talk finally tonight about the process, about, getting from where you are tonight at the other end of that camera, watching on TV, to actually getting here on a Thursday night, giving your all to the rehearsal, whether it's social, whether it's media, live stream, whatever it is. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the worship team culture.
Yeah. It's a really important part of the team, probably the most important, because we want people to thrive. We want people to, just like you say, in a greenhouse, to grow, to be in this team. So really, when you're kind of part of the team on a Thursday, what you're saying is, you know what, I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow. I'm here to offer myself in a sense of kind of whatever gifting and talents I've got. I'm willing to be taught. I'm willing to improve. I'm willing to work with other people. And that culture of just being able to draw alongside each other, to for one person to spur on another, for one person to challenge another and help someone else grow. That is a vital part of the team. And in the midst of that, of being in a part of a team, really kind of keeping everything that we do centered around God, centered around what we are here for. We're here to glorify Him. At the end of the day, we were created to worship. We were created to glorify God. So all we're doing, is really picking up a guitar or picking up a camera or picking up a pair of drumsticks and going, okay, God, I want to glorify you.
Yeah.
I want to honor you. I want to worship you. And, one way of kind of, I suppose, describing worship is it's a reflection. When people look at you or listen to you when you talk, or when they look at your face, does it reflect God? Does it point a way to for people to see him. So, when we play together as a worship team, our desire is that it points towards God. It reflects God. And ultimately, God is just so amazing and vast. We can't describe him. He's beyond excellent. He's perfect. But all we can do is give our best. And when we do that, when we turn up, when we're on time, when we're supporting each other, we're all human. No one's perfect.
So we're not after perfect people.
We're not. We all have bad days. We all have, people can walk in here with a chip on their shoulder or a cob on because they've had a bad day. But the most important part is that we're a team. And, hey, we're here to support each other. We're here to grow together. And, on a Thursday, like I said, it's where we grind, where we work together. So in the sense of we kind of go, okay, this is what we've got to get. This is what we achieve. But once you kind of have that culture of people willing to just give their best, to try their best, it's amazing what you can produce. It starts in here. It doesn't start at your fingertips. Playing a keyboard, because you can have the greatest musician walk into this room, and because they've got a bad attitude or they've got a bad heart, they're not willing to work with other people, or they don't care about other people or honoring people. Like, that is never going to create something good. Yes, we want to create something that is amazing, that is excellent, that glorifies God. But doing that, we want to start with a great heart. We want to start with people who are wanting to just honor God and worship God with what they do. And really, that is the heartbeat. And maybe for some churches and, for some people, that's where it goes wrong, because they're like, oh, they've got a great heart. They love to worship. They love Jesus. Their life is just incredible. But in reality, when they open their mouth and try and sing, it doesn't sound incredible.
So you say that's important?
There is a great verse in the Bible, which in Psalm 33 verse 3, which talks about, says, play skillfully unto God. And the one thing it said about David, he was a great guy. He was a man after God's own heart. Yeah. So amazing qualities. But he was also handsome. It says he was also skillful as a musician, skillful as a fighter. So those things aren't, not important when it comes to what we can do to glorify God.
Brilliant.
So you may not be an amazing singer, but what you may be is an incredible administrator, or you may be an incredible photographer. You may not know what, one string from the next on a guitar, but you may be able to sing. It's not about kind of going, oh, you've just got to be super talented. You've just got to be willing. And really, a lot of people on our stage, I think about some of our singers, especially, who've been in the team for a number of years now. They've never been to music college. They haven't got a degree in music. They haven't gone, oh, that's what I wanted to do the whole of my life. But some time ago, they kind of think, you know what, I enjoy singing and I love God, so I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a try, and with their willing heart and being able to go, well, okay, let's help you now go from here. Let's go to here. And so, what's amazing is that people have been able to grow giftings and talents within this team. And within the culture of this team, which is just, to me, a great testament to what God can do.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I think what we're saying to sum it all up is that obviously, number one, we need you to love Jesus. You need to be a Christian to be on the platform of a church, obviously.
Yeah.
And Adam, secondly, we found this out over the years the hard way, I guess, in that you can be talented but have not such a great character. And we've always said that the greatest thing that you can bring to this platform is, number one, your character, so long as that's accompanied with your gift. But we'd rather have character than gift.
Definitely.
I think we all know that when you get gifted people and the character's not there, it's not going to sustain you, and people are going to see through you.
Yeah.
So we want people who are living godly lives, who love Jesus, who are passionate about worship. We don't want people just to turn up and go, well, give me anything to do. I am not bothered. Hey, we'll give you anything to do, but we want you to be bothered. And so we just ask for you to come, with a humble heart, a great attitude. Because the reality is, Adam, you could actually come to a Thursday night and spend hours in this building for weeks and months before you're just not going to get on this platform, are you, to start with?
No, and that is a great test of someone's character.
It is.
And just like you talk about the football teams, you don't just get signed for a team as a young person and then you're playing for their first team. You go for years and time and through training and building and raising up as a player. I think when we talk about character and we talk about lifestyles, maybe some people would think that you have to be perfect to be on this platform. You have to have kind of read your Bible like 3 chapters a day and prayed for half an hour at least. The amazing thing is about God, isn't it? Is just that how much He loves us, and if we're willing to just go, you know what, God, I'm giving my life over to you. He's able to work things in us and through us and out of us ultimately when we're willing to give that. So if we're willing to do that, and we're willing to go, oh, here's a gift I've got, here's maybe a talent that I've got. You combine those two attitudes, and it's an amazing result.
Brilliant. Well, you've heard it all, kind of, about this kind of stuff anyway, and we want to thank you for joining us online tonight. And we've given you plenty. I hope we've given people plenty to think about. And I'm praying that tonight there's going to be kids and young people going to get excited about the opportunities. Especially, I'm excited about Champions Academy, the thought that we can grow people, Adam, in the generation that they're alive in. And come on, let's see some young people stepping forward tonight. Come on, drop us a line, on the online chat tonight. I don't know what I'm talking about really about that, because
they all know.
Do you think they will know?
Yeah.
They will know. Brilliant. Well, tonight, just to remind you right at the end here with 1 minute 57, 56, 55 seconds to go, just to remind you that these are, for the next 4 Monday nights, Adam, this is a series called The Making Of. This is delving into the life tonight, delving into the life of the making of a worship leader. And we're going to be privileged to have three more. Can't even count on my fingers, for 3 more of these Monday nights during the winter of 2020. And we want you to join us every Monday night for the next 3 Monday nights at 7:30, just to give you a little taster. I think next coming up in our programming is that we have the making of a sound engineer.
Wow.
A sound engineer, as opposed to a not so sound engineer. A sound engineer, sorry, my sense of humor. The making of a sound engineer with Nicoma Bell. I'm told, one of the finest in the country.
Yeah, I believe one of the most sought after.
One of the most sought after sound engineers. Yeah. He's one of the most humble guys that we know. And the great thing is, he's engineering this sound tonight. If it's all gone wrong, ladies and gentlemen, Nicoma Bell is absolutely rubbish. He's listening to this somewhere, in a room somewhere right now. And this microphone is about to go dead. Nick Omer, we love you. And so next up, the making of a sound engineer. If you've ever wondered what goes on behind that sound desk, and hey, can we tell people? No, we won't. We'll save it, shall we? So tonight, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel tonight by clicking on the subscribe red button or the word subscribe right now. I can just about say it with 7 seconds to go. So Adam, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always,
it's a privilege
to be with you. I spent quite a lot of time with you, or I used to before lockdown, and part of our family, but more so, and as much as so, part of our family here at Champions. You're an awesome guy. Appreciate you, Adam. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. We love you. God bless.
Bye-bye.